Cooler is one of the coolest, pun intended, characters in all the Dragon Ball Z movies, and he's also the first villain that actually has a recurring part. He comes back for a second movie. But the question that we're going to try to answer today, and that we're going to talk about, is which of the two Cooler movies, whether it be movie 5, Dragon Ball Z, entitled Incredible Mightiest versus Mightiest, or Cooler's Revenge, versus the Dragon Ball Z movie 6, The Return of Cooler, also known in Japan as Clash, 10 Billion Power Warriors. And joining me on this video, really a man who I can't find anybody better on the in all of Universe 7 to talk about Cooler. Please welcome the German super soldier, TheArcosian. Hello, sir.
Welcome, Geekdom 101, and I'm very pleased to be in this video. And I want to start with this video and say that I am myself more a fan of the movie 5 from Cooler.
We'll talk about it, yeah. And for those wondering, yes, folks, the word Arcosian is not my favorite dub-only term, but he can use it. He can use it. Right.
Thank you very much. It means something. But
yeah.
I want to point out something very important to the fans of Geekdom. I myself, as you know, see me on his comment section, I have a Cooler picture, and I don't want to be biased, so I'm going to tell you right now, both movies are not perfect, and that's why this video is all about. Talk which of them is better, and maybe talk about which could be done better, if it's possible in this video. If not, then the next one.
No, we can talk about it, sure.
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, so now I want to first talk a little bit about the character of Cooler. Cooler, I really like Cooler, and obviously you do too. And for me, all right, my opinion of Cooler, the reason why I like him is because he pretty much really, Takao Koyama's idea behind Cooler is that he was Frieza's big brother, and he really is Frieza's big brother in that Cooler is not like Frieza. He really does come off like a more mature Frieza. He's not whiny all the time. He's not as, spoiled. He finds out that his brother was killed by a Super Saiyajin or a Super Saiyan or a Super Saiyan, and he wants revenge, and he has a little bit more honor, a little bit more. I'm not saying that he's like an evil guy, but he has more of a mature kind of tone to him, right?
Yeah, and he's a warrior spirit. That's what makes him better.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? What other reasons do you think that Cooler, is certainly one of your favorites?
Well, I have to say a very short story about this. First of all, my second favorite character is Frieza, because I like the appearance that he had and his sadistic style that he had in the Namek saga, and how he prevailed that long and was cocky all the time, arrogant. But then other parts I didn't like he treated his men, were always making everyone down, even his own best, let's say, special squadron.
Yeah.
And he was lazy. That is what I didn't like. And then I watched later on the movies, and then I come upon Cooler. And then I saw in one movie so much character development. He had honor. He said it himself in the Japanese. I don't know if he said in the English, but in German as well, that he could destroy the planet and just go away. But he wanted to test himself to see who is stronger. He or the Super Saiyajin or Super Saiyan. And the next awesome part was that he was not underestimating him. He said, oh, with the first key that he did on Goku meeting Gohan, he said this key could actually destroy Frieza. I mean, I think he meant the first form Frieza, not the final form Frieza. But that's something, power scaling, blah, 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 not important. The thing is, that I thought, like, he can see his own brother losing, like, he can admit, like, something from his family even taken down. And then the awesome part was his transformation itself. It took me away. Like, it's for me till day the best transformation that I've ever seen, especially with that mouthpiece. Then the next thing which I found awesome was even when he got let's say desperate, he tried to do something very fast. Like, he charged, because of movie time, his supernova. But then again, he took attack. He could go right or left. But he took the attack and let himself, let's say, die or come back. So that I found awesome, that he had presented himself so much more and well-matured, like you said, as a character. And that's why I have to say the first Cooler appearance was the hitter for me, like favorite character forever. I
Yeah,
hope so.
I have a soft spot for Cooler too because I've talked about this before. The two Cooler movies, 5 and 6, Dragon Ball Z 5 and 6, they were the first Japanese movies I had ever seen on VHS tape back in like the 90s. For my first exposure to a Japanese Dragon Ball Z movie was these two movies. And the thing that you bring up that it's interesting about Cooler is that yeah, like he shoots Goku in the back in the first film, and he knocks Goku out of the entire movie because the whole movie he's out, and it was just that one shot. So when they wrote this movie, they pretty much wanted to establish that this guy Cooler was much scarier than Frieza, because I don't even know if Frieza could have knocked Goku out for the entire movie like that.
No, I don't think so. Because this guy likes to play around. He does not go straight to business, sadly.
No,
But
no, yeah, and of course, like you said, it's movie time.
yeah, movie for 40, not even that. It's special. It's like a special movie because normal movies has a running time between 1 hours, 1 hour 30, or 2 hours. And this sadly has no 46 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's normal in Japanese, but I don't know. I'm not that fond. Maybe you can answer that question.
No, it is. It is.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Japanese anime movies are usually shorter because they premiere them with other movies. So when you go see when you see like multiple movies, especially at the convention, so that's why they're always
Okay.
like that. Yeah. But more recently, of course, with like Resurrection F, they're longer, and that was
Hmm.
my next point. I want to talk about the two movies. The thing about these two movies is that looking back, Cooler's Revenge and The Return of Cooler, right? 5 and 6,
Hmm.
I kind of see them as like Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, in that very similar in the sense of Battle of Gods was a better story, which I think Cooler's
Hmm.
Revenge was, but I
Hmm.
felt that The Return of Cooler had a little bit more action, and it had Vegeta, a little bit better action, at least for that middle part, where because there's that middle part of the movie where Piccolo and them are fighting like the cyborgs, and then Goku and Vegeta are taking care of Cooler, and I like that action a little bit more. I didn't think that Cooler's Revenge had like that as good of a fight scene as that. So I think it's like, Resurrection F gives you like the action, but it has a lot of inconsistencies, and the plot is kind of like whatever. Like it's not really a great movie.
True.
Yeah, but Cooler's Revenge, I thought had, like Battle of Gods, it had a really good story.
True, but if you would ask me in comparison, I would say that Battle of Gods is truly a good comparison for the first movie, but for me, it's like watching Bio Broly, the second movie, because of the worst part of cutting the movie, because it could be so much better if they would not have cut two Desperate Saiyans against 1,000 Metal Coolers, but we just got a Cable Cooler, I call him Cable Cooler, and
Cable
one Ki,
Cooler, yeah,
yeah, Cable Cooler, and
at
one
the
Ki
end.
Blast, one shot it, and he's defeated. Like, this is not for me epic. This is not what I would consider watching a movie 46 minutes and then going out and say, "Wow, I really recommend this movie for other people."
Yeah,
Sadly,
no, I agree with you. Like, and that's one thing about the Dragon Ball Z movies I've noticed, starting with like the Tree of Might, is that and that's a little maybe not a great example, but also Fusion Reborn. A lot of these movies have like a lot of stuff going on, and then at the end, there's this, as Gabby called it, Goku Ex Machina, where they all of a sudden figure out this wacky way to win, and Broly
yeah,
is whooping their ass for an hour, and then Goku punches them once in the stomach, and it's over. Same thing
yeah,
with this movie, and you're right, that fucking scene pissed me off, bro, because the fight with Goku and Vegeta against Cooler is so epic when they're shooting him with their finger blast and he
yeah,
regenerates, and there was so much cool shit. Like, Cooler is the only villain to have ever learned the instantaneous movement. No other villain had learned it, and I love how when he does it, he goes, "You can do that too." Wait a minute. You can do it too? Like, I love that scene, dude. Like, there's just this like rivalry between them that existed, even though it wasn't as epic as the Frieza rivalry. It's still like a
yeah.
rivalry. I love that, man. And then you're right, there's that scene, and that's the one thing I will say that's good about the Metal Cooler movie. I know you compare it to Bio Broly. I don't know if it's that bad, but the
For
scene
a cooler fan, it is. Sadly, it
I,
is.
I see what you mean. So they finish the first Cooler. They both get knocked out, and they lose their SSJ forms, and they're sitting there all tired. And then they look over the mountain, and there's Cooler, and then another Cooler, and then another Cooler, and then another Cooler. And then, dude, I was losing my shit out. And
I
then,
was.
bro, it's like, oh my god. And then they both get up, and they're like, fuck it, and they power up, and then there's a big explosion, and it cuts. What a fucking dick tease, man.
Yeah, but the
Fuck.
But the biggest worst part was actually Goku stating himself in the Japanese that he run out of power before that fight with the 10,000 coolers or 1,000 coolers. But then again, is in Super Saiyan state with that cable cooler, goes again Super Saiyan, and has enough power to destroy not only the big Gady Star, but to destroy Cable Cooler as well. When he himself stated that he has enough power to defeat Goku and Vegeta. Like you said, that is Goku ex machina. And sadly, it was way too much in that movie. Especially, it cut it out. So much potential was made in this movie because it remembers the good part that we had with the Namek saga with Frieza, and I wanted to be upscaled with that epic fight scenes, Piccolo having a good time, and not running around in the spaceship being the something. I mean, he's such a big role, especially this happened after him fusing with Kami, so he was actually the strongest character in that movie. But he got presented as a nobody. Like, this guy fought cyborgs that nobody cared about. Like, why?
I know, man. It's frustrating. And not just that, but I found it weird how after they fight the metal coolers and they end up back in the lab with the cables around them, all of a sudden they like overload Cooler with energy. And I'm just thinking, where the hell did this energy come from? If these guys were so strong to overload the big Gedy Star, surely they should have been able to take out, you know, all those coolers, right? I mean, it's almost like they just got the power out of nowhere, you know?
Like
now,
you said, Goku Ex Machina.
Yeah, that's what it is. Now, the first Cooler movie, let's talk about it because, you know, I think it's much, much better. You know, I love how it opens with Bardock. I love how, you know, Cooler comes to Earth. Well, first of all, he's on that random planet sitting on a throne, which was awesome.
Awesome was that he actually stated himself that, first of all, that we got around information that I think Frieza has around 69 planets under his control, and Cooler has 259.
Because he's
and already with that statement,
because he's big brother is what I was saying.
Yeah. But the awesome part was with that introduction, I was like, okay, he's a way more serious character because with his time, he took more planets down and was not less lazy. Especially when we heard that Frieza died. He didn't say, I don't care. He really fly to planet Earth and test his own might against the guy who executed his, or defeated, not executed, this brother. So that was...
he just exactly. He's like a more serious Frieza, and I love that. I love the story that he could have killed baby Goku because they spotted him going to Earth, and he's like, "It's not my jurisdiction. It's Frieza's. I don't need. I'm not gonna help Frieza out. I can't. You know." They basically imply, even though we don't really see Cooler and Frieza ever interacting, we never see it. They imply that like Frieza's this really annoying and lazy, like you said, very annoying and lazy, and Cooler has to like have his back. Like I almost feel like if Frieza was getting bullied and nobody would bully Frieza, Cooler would be the guy to stand up for him. They have that. They really do that, like, you know, big brother little brother relationship really well, even though we never see them actually interact. But the way that Cooler talks about him, you just know.
Yeah, and that's why it could be such an awesome fandom with that part, like you said, because people assume that if Cooler would be, let's say, canon, or head canon, like you say, and how King Cold would have seen it. From my perspective, I would say that Cooler was, like you said, the older brother. He was the firstborn, the strongest being from him, and got spoiled. But when Frieza got born, I think his latent power was way stronger than of Cooler, and Cooler became behind the shadow of his younger brother, and that's why there's such a rivalry between them, or such a hate. And it could be exploited so much better if he would be included in the original storyline. But hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, or maybe they could have made the movie longer, because I do think that Cooler just kind of looked down on Frieza like, oh, he's annoying kind of. He was more annoyed. And of course, he talks about how Cooler has that extra final transformation, which, as you said, is a great transformation. I love the mouth thing because I grew up a fan of Turtles, and I like Shredder, and he reminds me of Shredder.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True. Yes,
and also, the thing about that movie, bro, is the way it's directed, because it has some very interesting shots. When he hits that knee on Goku into the mountain, like, the way the sound effects are, like, ba-bam! Like, he fucking... dude, he rocked his fucking world with that knee. And then, like... You know, that scene where the camera's spinning around him and then Cooler has his fist up, which they copied in Dragon Ball Super, by the way, with Beerus.
True.
Remember that? And then he just punches him?
Yeah, true. I forgot. I forgot this, but actually, that did happen.
They copied the fucking... That was awesome, bro. Right in Goku's mouth.
Yeah, I would love to see it again, like they did with Broly and Cooler, someone flying through the Kamehameha or just staying point blank. Because to tell the truth, that was so cool when Cooler, like Butter, flew through the Kamehameha and punched him away to the ground. Oh my god. Or into the lake, and that cut when Goku charges like in his Kaioken form.
Yeah.
And then Cooler teleporting behind and before him. So he actually can sense power levels because he could do the 2 times, and Goku didn't know where he was. And
Not just that, but like we say, he learned instantaneous movement. So he's just a
yeah,
better Frieza, bro. He's better than Frieza in every conceivable way. And if the biology in Cooler is the same as Frieza's, then Golden Cooler would have been a huge threat because I don't think Golden Cooler would have come to Earth not ready. I think he would have done what Frieza didn't do, mastered the golden form, and then gone in there and maybe even kicked Beerus's ass.
but let me
Seriously.
tell you, Golden Cooler I think would never be a thing. I think he would definitely choose a different color because
That's
Frieza did
true.
his golden form because of revenge, being above somebody and saying, "Ha! No, I'm golden. I'm now the same level as you. I'm gonna. How does it feel if somebody is golden and beats you now?" I think Cooler is not some guy who has such a grudge. Then, I have to be the same color just to show him. Oh, I'm higher than you. I'm mightier than you. I'm the emperor. He's more, like I said, a warrior, and that's what we got to see in the first Cooler appearance movie, like you said. And he's in every conceivable way a better character than Frieza. Nonetheless, Frieza's still an awesome character. We don't want to push that out. That fans don't be saying, "Well, in the comments, right? Fuck you, Frieza is still awesome." He is awesome. He's just a different character.
Yeah, he's different. Cooler, like it really is. Cooler's the big brother. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
All right, before we get out of here, last thing is so we both kind of agree that movie 5 is better, the first Cooler movie. I
Yeah.
definitely want everybody's comments below. Which Cooler movie do you like better? The thing is, movie 6, I think what makes movie 6, why I think that it's a debate is because movie 6 has Vegeta, and of course he's everybody's favorite. And of course, movie 6 does have some really cool sci-fi stuff. We talked about off the air the Star Trek influence with V'ger and the Big Getty Star, and there's a little bit of Ultron in there. There's a lot of sci-fi in that movie, but I feel, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, I feel like movie 6 has so many good ideas, and yet they're not capitalized on. It's like if that could have been an amazing movie had they done more with what they had.
Let me say this. It could be one of the best movies ever if they would have made the movie, first of all, longer. Sorry, I said in German. Longer. And would have put the thousand fight in this into consideration and made the plot a bit more deeper, a little more understandable, and not like you or your friend tend to say Goku ex machina to just let Goku be the hero, and maybe Vegeta being at the beginning, not like always having the epic entrance and then fail, because that kind of makes sad. Because in every appearance that Vegeta has in a movie,
Oh,
he comes cool and gets defeated, smacked down, boom, on the ground, he's defeated. Woo! I mean, in this movie, he got kicked in the balls, and then
yeah.
and then he flies to Goku, like in a romance scene, like Yaoi would, like the Yaoi fans tend to say, Goku ex Vegeta.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You
there's a
just
lot of fan stuff about that.
you just made this video dark as fuck. All right. No, all right. Well, yeah, everybody give me your comments below. Which Cooler movie do you think is better? The second one, like I said, has really good action, but I love the fight scenes in that one, but the first one just has a better story. And the first one has some cool shit too. Like I like Cooler's squadron fighting Piccolo. I really enjoy those scenes.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
Star Wars, because the lightning saber sword from Salsa remembered me on Star Wars when we talk about Star Trek.
And it even has the same sound effects. Zun, zun,
Yeah,
zun. Yeah, that's great. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Arcosian. And everybody check out the Arcosian channel down below. He does reaction videos and reviews. Always a lot of energy from him. And he is the German super soldier, even more than Goku, Vegeta, and anybody else who can make their hair blonde hair and blue eyes. But anyways, thanks again, and I'll catch y'all down the road.